Ooh, what's up, jobbers, and welcome to the latest edition of the Jobber Knocker podcast. As always, Nestlemania alongside for the ride is a man that, well, he would wear short shorts if he was a special guest referee, JC.
Damn right, I'd wear those pink shoes as well. Those things were super hot fire.
So we've got a lot to talk about this week. We've got WWE Bad Blood. We've got
Baby, we got Bad Blood. We're gonna talk some Raw and AEW. Oh God,
we have to talk about AEW. It's a 5th year anniversary. We are going up against NXT as Roxanne and Julia are going up against each other as we speak. Do you want me to do
Julia?
Do you want me to do no spoilers for you or no?
Yeah, no spoilers for me because your boy's excited to watch that. You know, my screens are preoccupied with other things, aka things I have money on. So
yes,
NXT's more of the my little guilty pleasure later.
Guilty pleasure, yeah, okay. Anyway, we've got a lot to talk about here. It's going on as we speak, but we've got to get in there. So where do we always start, JC?
Always in the shine, Nestlemania. You see the name of the title. You see my little screen name here. You can see my shirt, the beginning of it. Get these motherfucking hands. Roar! Nestlemania. I don't know about you, but this match was everything I wanted and more. We got all the spots. We got fleeing giants. We got broken reigns. We got meat slapping, meat tossing, meat spanking, wanking, lanking. Everything to do with meat and touching. We had it. This match was awesome. Braun Strowman gets the surprise victory. And Nestlemania, that's because Seth Rollins returned. My only gripe here, my only little gripe, is they fucking mentioned Seth before the match to Bronson and kind of blew it here. I was like, when the minute they said it, I was like, oh, he's going to return, isn't he? I wish they said nothing and he would have just shown up, and I think it would have been even cooler, but whatever. It was still, this match was awesome. It was a great main event, and it's a great way to start the show.
I mean, you talked about everything in this matchup. I mean, you think about, they started off with a choke slam through a table off the stairs. Then it went from the forearm through the apron, through the table, to the other chairs that were stacked on the outside. The Death Valley driver through the tables that were nicely set up as if it was a picnic on the stage. That was funny. Then on top of that, like Air Strowman, top rope to the outside of all the security guards, which should be a fucking t-shirt. Amazing. Air Strowman right now. And then, of course, we had the ring break. And, of course, like you talked about, the one thing I would say is, obviously, Seth Rollins is not my guy. Obviously, he's got a lot of cool stuff that he does. He's not my guy. But I was thinking to myself, as it was happening, it was really bothering me because it felt like, I don't know, it felt like the ring didn't break 100%. And I got kind of like bummed out. And it was just like, okay, I guess they didn't make the ring collapse completely because he had to give him the stomp at the end. Maybe that was my only thought process here. But it was just kind of like, I'm happy that Bronson Reed gets to face Seth Rollins because that's a big name, right? And that's a huge thing for Bronson Reed. I'm happy Strowman got the dub. There was a part of me that thought the Wyatts were going to get involved and kind of poach Strowman maybe to get Reed the victory. So I'm happy that I'm wrong, I guess, in that sense. But I don't know, like, did you feel like everything was awesome and then the ring didn't really break? Because that's what it felt like to me a little bit.
I thought it was fine. I thought it worked. It was what it was. I mean, we've obviously seen this spot before. We knew it was coming. So it didn't take away from me from my meat spectacular Nestlemania because this was some meat madness of amazingness.
Meat madness. Unreal meat madness. Yeah. So look, I think this was interesting to me because the one thing that really is ringing true throughout the Triple H era for me is that it's better for you to lose than it is to win. Like you win and it's like, what do you got?
Well, I think it's one of those things that he has something for everyone because sometimes guys win, you don't have something for the loser. I think it's just there's a special emphasis on the way people lose now.
I just think that losing is as important now as winning, which is never the case before. And I think that that's fascinating to me because now I'm always looking to see what happens after you lose versus what you win. And so like winning's great. Everybody wants to be the winner. Everybody wants to be the champion and whatever. And that's great. But to me, it's like character wise, there's always something for you to nibble on when you lose. So I like that aspect of where we're headed.
Well, speaking of character wise, Nestlemania.
No, don't do it. Not this early.
The next part of our segment, we are going to hashtag thank you, Karrion Kross. He's as high in the shine as this motherfucker's ever been. Nestlemania, because what is one of my favorite things in wrestling? Miz as a heel. What did Karrion Kross deliver us this week? We had a returning our truth. Awesome Truth set up a match against AOP. AOP, the authors of pain, who, by the way, got the big dub in this match here. But Miz turned on Truth. We've obviously seen it building. Karrion Kross has been like kind of puppet mastering him a little bit. He had the great reactions ringside as it was happening, but this was something that we need to happen because look it. They turn Miz babyface every now and then just because he's the Miz and he can smile for the cameras. They can send him on tour, and people do like genuinely for the most part like him now, but sometimes just gotta let the Miz cook. And there's a lot of good baby faces for Miz to work with on Monday Night Raw. So it's time to let the Miz cook. And we have one man to thank, and that's Karrion Kross. So hashtag thank you, Karrion Kross.
Sure.
Saying.
Let's just make
Facts,
it sure.
Baby. What did Tyson Kidd used to do? Fact.
I think you missed a couple of claps in there, but I'll let it slide.
I'm trying to save time, bro. We got
a lot to talk about. So the thing is it just feels like the Miz is always get a better heel anyway. And I think universally our truth is loved no matter what you do. And even if you didn't know the program, you'd laugh at his shit. So I think it's definitely an easy layup here. I don't know what the Miz can do now though, because I feel like the Miz, here's the thing. I'm happy the Miz is a heel. He should always be a heel. But the other question is, I don't think he's going to sniff a world title.
He doesn't need to. He's not what he's there for.
He's not going to sniff the Intercontinental title. Maybe one more time. Maybe
he might sniff it because
I feel like Triple H will never come out and say it, but I feel like Triple H does not like Jericho, so he probably will have Miz beat him just to beat the Jericho record. Yeah. You know what I mean? He'd be like,
he should do it. Fuck Jericho. Guy sucks. Should retire. More on him later, probably not because
while you're saying
that, talk about that fucking flabby motherfucking loser on this program.
Jesus Christ, Joshua.
Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV.
That's a gimmick infringement, my friend. Yep. Anyway, so what else you got that's very positive here?
Oh, let's see here. Well, Nestlemania. Since we'll stay on the character train, we'll stay on Monday Night Raw. And we got to talk about Xavier Woods rocks. He unmasked Rey Mysterio. He beat Rey Mysterio, former world champion. Hashtag the world champion killer. And then later in the night, he accidentally cost his buddy, Kofi Kingston, as his match, thinking he was helping, but he wasn't. But I'm just loving everything Xavier Woods right now, Nestlemania. It's a good little CD, whatever list storyline you want to call it on Monday Night Raw.
I was so fascinated by this because, again, we've talked about this all the time, but it definitely is something that continues to happen, and I'm always pleasantly surprised by it. But God damn it, does this thing just... It's such a yummy little snack in between these meats.
Yeah, and we kicked off with meat. We need a snack now, you know?
Yeah. It's like you just need a little bit of a, you know when like you get something salty and then you need something a little bit sweet? This is like the little bit sweet. It's num. It's so good because all I kept thinking about was here's the thing, right? It's the fact that he pulled the mask off and won. I was just like, that's such a great thing. And like the crowd started to turn on him right away. And then the trip thing was a little thing too. Like those little things become a big thing. And then the thing you didn't add, which was if you watch backstage, it was a backstage segment where you see them in the background having a fucking spat. And I don't know if you saw Social, but they had somebody in the wings taking the video of the argument. I don't know if you saw that, but it was really good. It was really heated. And it was like Kofi Kingston was saying like, do you not know my repertoire? Do you not know what I'm doing? Like, it's trouble in paradise, pal. Like, you know what's coming. And like,
well, there is trouble in paradise.
And he was saying stuff like, dude, I know you're the QB. He's like, I made one wrong move in 10 years. Give me a fucking break. And I was just like, here we go. And so it's very interesting. It's getting there. It's a culmination. It's a slow burn. And I love it. And I think I'll be interested to see how long they can keep this interesting. And
well, I'll say this, because I think they're making it so obvious that it's going to be catch us by surprise. Because I think it's getting so obvious where we're like, God, this is going to end with Big E coming and they're going to be all happy and nothing's going to change. They're going to make up and they're just bringing us through it. But it's just like, no, I think they actually are following through with it this time. Whenever that fucking anniversary is, another month or whatever, I can't fucking wait. But look we had our doubts they'd be able to fill it so much this far every week. It's still good shit, man. And I love it.
Unreal. Just unreal. Like you said, it's a D-list storyline, but my goodness, is it probably, he's probably the MVP of Raw right now. If I'm being honest, in my opinion, I look forward to their segments every single time now.
He's one of the MVPs of Raw for sure.
Well, would you care to name another one, perhaps?
I mean, it's hard not to talk about the meat men we've been discussing. Karrion Kross.
No, you can't even say that with a straight fucking face, you asshole. Guthrie's gonna be sitting there going, clap, 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 clap.
I mean, look at Karrion Kross gave me heel miss. This motherfucker is changing people. He is making change. You know, we're in a fucking presidential race right now, Nestlemania, and all these fucking candidates for years, for fucking decades, they talk about change and nothing fucking ever changes. You know who actually makes change? Karrion Kross.
So you want Karrion
Kross in your ad and smoke it.
You want Karrion Kross to run for president?
Well, he has good taste in women, and he made the Miz a heel, so he's 2 for 2.
But where does he lie on the border? That's my question.
Pretty accepting. He seems pretty accepting. So,
I mean, his wife.
He takes in an old man. He takes in 2 big goons from islands. So yeah, I'd say.
So I'm not even going to get political here, but he's for Social Security, is what you're telling me, and he loves having immigrants come over. That's great. Okay,
all the demos love him. He has
true.
All the demos covered. Women love him.
So you're telling me he you know what? He sounds like Jesse Ventura. That's a governor. Okay, here we go. You know what? I'm starting to buy in now. I'm starting to buy in. You know what? If you can get him off my TV and get him in the Oval Office, it's fine.
The Oral Office.
There it is. I popped him. All right, that's what I was waiting for. All right, on that note, is there anything else that's positive you want to keep going? We're on a train right now.
Oh yeah, should we jump over to SmackDown?
Sure, let's do it.
What do you think of the latest edition of Melo and Andrade?
I thought it was the best match they've had by far.
I agree.
This one wasn't
and that's hard to do.
Yeah, I think for me, I kept looking at it from. It's not that it's going to be a bad match. Is it? Am I going to see something new? Am I going to be entertained? And it's always new.
Yeah.
But it was just a little added bonus of LA Knight trying to get Melo and then screwing Andrade and then not getting the handshake was enough for me to be like, okay, it's new enough, right? Like we always joked about this. I mean, I'm wearing the t-shirt. I don't know if you can see it. Monday Night Rerun. Go buy it on tpublic.com/JobberKnocker. TJ does a great job over there and on NXT, which he's probably doing right now. But the t-shirt does imply that they were kind of running the same play over and over and over again, whether it was SmackDown, whether it was Raw. But now we're getting different iterations of things that seem similar, and I'm okay with that because, again, once you introduce even the smallest bit of something new to me, I'm okay with it. I'll back off. But when it feels like I'm watching, the same match over and over again that hasn't any difference, then I don't care. I just don't care. So.
And everyone's been different. That's this beautiful Nestlemania. And what do they say? The best thing in sports, a game 7, and we got one coming at some point.
And the whole feeling is that Melo probably will win because Andrade already had his shot, right?
It would feel like this could be a launching pad for Melo, but we'll see. It's also something you said earlier that maybe the win isn't as important, but is Melo better off a loss or a win character-wise? I think that's an interesting discussion. So it remains to be seen because I don't know. Either way, I think we win. Imagine if they do end up going like best of 9, best of. They just keep going forever and it never ends. I don't think I'd complain.
I don't know, man. It's a good thing. The one thing I do want to talk about, and I'm curious if this is a heat or a shine for you, but the Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes stuff. Okay.
Shine. That was where I was going next. I love that. Because what I love about this is it's the difference between Randy and KO. Where Randy on first thing gets to call out Cody. Cody comes right out. They have a discussion. And Randy's accepting for his reasoning and for now ready to move on. Whereas KO, who still tries to come out after, he still fucking can't get anything done because he continues to get interrupted by the bloodline. So I love that aspect of it because it's a good way to table Randy and Cody and make it more that we don't see it coming and keep KO thing in the forefront. But it's also you still have the bloodline involved. So I thought all this stuff was well done. I thought it was handled well, and they're keeping me interested, which is the most important thing.
I really like the ending of SmackDown personally. I'm not a huge fan of the
schmaz
all the time, but the fact that it was you could see Cody coming and you could see that this was going to happen and you could see that he was going to get involved and he take out the referee and then KO getting hot. The one thing I didn't like, it's not necessarily heat, but it definitely kind of soured was I wish they had cut SmackDown before they hugged it out. That would have made it because you see them hug it out and I just felt what are you doing? what are you doing here? Because it would have made me feel like I got to watch Friday to see what happens and see if KO is really going to be able to say his piece.
So you don't mind it though, because the week before they did the same thing where KO ended up hugging him. So it just I think it's one of those that I think it's part of the KO like spiraling is that he's still like, because they admit it, like him and Cody have always been close. It's someone Kevin has never turned on. So it's like he's still, once he calms down a little, he's still at the point where he's under control. And I think it's going to make when he does completely lose control. Mwah.
I think that's what we're waiting for because he hasn't really been the psychopath kind of like prize fighter in a very long time. And I think that's his best version of himself. Like he's very 100%. Funny. He's a very funny man, but man, like it is what it is. By the way, I'm not going to spoil anything, but you're going to be happy with what happens in the first match. That's all I'm going to say.
Is it what I called?
Do you want me to tell you the truth?
No, just say yes or no. Is it what I predicted?
Exactly what you predicted.
I'm a fucking genius. I've been talking about this for weeks, and I said it to you again before the program. What's going to happen? So yeah, cool. Look at that. JC Stradamus strikes again, but we'll keep
literally to a T. I'm sitting here looking at it. I'm like, this is.
Well, it confirmed it when last week's episode ended with Vacuum. Like they blew that surprise because they're bringing someone back to even the odds, and this title ain't changing. So I'm a fucking genius. That means Trick's gonna win the main event. This will look silly if he doesn't afterwards. But come on, hashtag JC knows. It's my favorite show. I know how fucking HBK books, and that is like the fucking best possible way.
You're even wearing your Shawn Michaels bandana right now
because I know I'm sexy.
I think you're cute.
Yeah, and I'm going to give you these hands if you disagree. But Nestlemania, my last thing, the shine, I'm just going to throw it here on the shine. I don't really have much analysis for it, but I know if I don't mention it, you're going to ask me in the heat if I liked it or not. And I did really like it. It's just like there's nothing to add, but I thought the Drew and Punk promos this week were very good. They were very entertaining. Like I said, this thing's been sold, but it was one of those things. It was like they stuck. I'm not a cherry guy, as we know, but they stuck one on top. If you want it, you can pluck it. If not, it looks pretty. It was a little finishing touch on something that was already done, and we're good to go for Saturday. We're pumped up, but I thought both men did a good job here.
I just feel like this match needs to be the main event, and it feels like it's probably going to start the show.
It's one or the other. I think originally I think they're toying with the idea, but it's also just like it's literally in Atlanta, and you have Cody and Roman teaming together. So if they have a big angle planned for that, that'll probably main event. But if they don't have a huge angle and those two just like run train or something, maybe that does kick off the show. But yeah, no, this is definitely a deserving main event in this Triple H era where he's like put things that for the most part deserve it, unlike AEW. In the positions, I could see it, but I think if they have a massive angle planned for that tag match, then it almost has to go last. So it's a tough one, but it's definitely deserving. Either way, I'm excited for it. 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10 flames, 1 million out of 1 million flames, whatever you want to call it.
Okay. All right. That's fine. I'm just throwing it out there as a suggestion.
Oh, no, I agree with you, but I just think that when you put your two biggest baby faces together, it's just like insane level of a baby face, like it's hard to not have the main event. So it'll be interesting to see how they do it.
And I thought that when Punk came out in all white, I thought there was going to be blood all over him after this segment. Like I thought, like generically, like he's wearing all white, but he's wearing all black. So I guess that
was a
really
perfect yin yang thing.
Yeah. No, I understand. I just a little bit of part of me wanted to kind of see the blood, which I'm sure I'll get on Saturday. JC picks up another dub.
Yes.
So
Dana's happy too. This kid's getting a contract.
We should have JC's contender series.
I'll just run the Diva search. I think that would be more fun for me.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be fun for you.
I'd be like the Miz. I'd be like, you are way too hot not to hire. You get a contract. Kid, get over here. You're in the WWE.
You'd be giving out too many contracts. You'd be like, calm down.
The best part, like when Dana's just reading off his thing, he's like, oh, it was impressive. He goes, kid, get over here. You're in the UFC. And it's so cool. It's such a cool concept.
It is. But it just makes him feel like Caesar. You know what I mean? Like he's just sitting there and like thumbs up, thumbs
he pretty
down.
Much that's what he is. I mean, that's just how he is. Is always is. And yeah, it's a fun show.
Is there anything else, or would you like to get a heaty? Get him off my TV, get him off my TV, get him off my TV. Now, is there anything specific that has got your grind gears going?
You want me to start the heat?
Well, I'm feeling hospitable in my neck of the woods. If you want to. I don't
really have done WWE things that I really despise this week, but you're going to bring up things and be like, oh yeah, I didn't like that. Because when there's a lot of good stuff like this week, some of the bad stuff I tend to just push out of my mind. So go ahead. What do you got?
Let's take a gander, shall we? All right, moving on to SmackDown. I don't mind it because part of me was like, yeah, I like it. Which was Nia choking Tiffy. But then part of me was just like, I kind of want this to last a lot longer. And I don't feel like they're going to milk this one in particular. And my reasoning is Bayley and Naomi do that match. What to me, everybody's like, oh my God, it was great. It was not great, in my opinion. I thought it was okay. It was passable. It was whatever. But the ending was kind of like, she wins with a fucking elbow drop. Okay, great. Wonderful. There's something about Bayley's matches lately I'm just not interested in. I don't know what it is. She's clearly very good. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But anyway, the whole that four, it's probably me. Yeah. Anyway, the four of them all together kind of just feel like I was just waiting for Tiffany to win. So it just seems like a foregone conclusion to me. And I feel like in a world where I think they know this isn't working, they're just going to hot shot Tiffany. And I don't think Tiffany's had enough time yet to simmer and like become a babyface. Like we know her moveset will allow her to be a babyface. We know that she's attractive enough that people will cheer for her, but like, I don't necessarily see her like she needs more time to simmer in terms of like letting all this shit stew. And I just feel like they're going to pull the trigger too early on it. That's my one feeling. I don't have a fact here. It's a feeling I get.
I tend to agree with you. I would like to see them milk this longer. I'm not saying all the way to WrestleMania like they've done with some, but I do think that it would. I enjoy the Nia Tiffy dynamic. Like in terms of this stuff, it definitely hurts some of Nia's feuds, for sure. But it's also just like, I mean, I brought this up before. When you have your two biggest babyfaces on SmackDown are the tag champs, it's just like it's hard. It's hard to really get invested. But I'm curious if SmackDown, whenever the 3 hours thing happened, there's going to be a lot more opportunity for people to get time on this show. So I'm also wondering if they're going to shift some of the roster from Monday to Fridays to maybe give us some freshness here. So I think it would be smart to kind of like hold Tiffy on to at least then when we maybe get a little bit more variety. But it's just also like the reason why we're talking about this in the heat. It's just besides like the choke segment, I enjoy that as well. It's just it's not really compelling TV right now,
which is odd to me because we gushed over all this stuff, but it feels like there are certain segments or certain divisions or certain things just falling by the wayside here. And
it's the women's divisions. It's been pretty consistent in. I mean, it was obviously like that a lot in the Vince era, but even here in the Triple H era, it's like there are some really good feuds, but not necessarily with the titles. Because look, like Rhea Liv has been an amazing feud, but like you forget the title's even involved. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And on SmackDown, it's just like the title, this one gets defended way more. But our biggest thing was like they had nothing for Bayley. We thought the Nia stuff was cool, but it's just like there's no extra anything. Like Tiffany's the extra something right now, which is nice, but it's just like Nia's the champion. Bayley was a champion before, and I feel like both have been like I think the booking has failed them both for the most part, pretty much since WrestleMania.
I would go as far. This is the Nestle take, so I'm sure everybody's going to beat me over the head with it, but I would go with the exception of the Intercontinental and the United States Championships. I feel like every other champion doesn't feel important, doesn't feel like the star of the show, doesn't feel like the star of their division. It just feels like they're just there. And there's nothing going on with those championships other than the United States and the IC title. Like those seem like the forefronts for me.
I think it's like the Triple H storytelling of booking has been so good. The title, like it's literally more of a prop for a lot of this stuff, which I think is okay. I think that means you're doing a great job with everything else, but it does, especially in the SmackDown women's division. It's like we need the title to make this stuff feel better, and they're not doing a good job executing it.
Something else about while we're here, we might as well say it. I thought it was dumpster week, but it's next week, which made me very upset, but it is what it is.
I questioned you about that last week, and you were pretty adamant, so I didn't really so I didn't really press, but you know.
No, it's just it probably me because hashtag Nestle doesn't know, so it's fine. It just is what it is. You know,
we got that great promo though.
It was great, but I was just I want the dumpster match and I want it so bad. Next week is the dumpster
Friday,
match.
baby. You got a lot of stuff.
And then of course we're also having other matches that are just like we're getting to gimmick palooza. It feels like gimmick month, doesn't it?
And you're complaining?
No, I'm just saying it's everywhere. Everywhere.
That's the cool thing. It's like it's not just like the big stuff getting treatment. everything that is on TV gets treatment and gets a proper payoff. This is what I've been asking for years. I'm like, look at the main event of Raw. We didn't need to end the show with a fucking Damian Priest, Finn Balor like thing. We didn't need to end the show with a Rhea Liv thing. We didn't need to end it with CM Punk. Those are all sold. We got to end it with a culmination of a feud that doesn't need to pay off on pay-per-view. And like this Chelsea Green Meechin thing, TV feud, but it's getting a cool thing. It's just like, that's everything that we're watching is like, besides apparently the SmackDown Women's Championship, it gets great treatment. So that's cool. That's cool.
That's cool. Well, Jey Uso, cool moment for him, but then I feel like, where do we put Jey Uso now that he has the championship? I'll be curious to see what happens with it. I
didn't like this segment at all.
It feels weird, right? It feels out of place. But I have a theory. I have a theory in my hope. I'm gonna expand upon all that stuff. It's what we call a tease in the biz.
Well, yeah, we'll table that one.
Table. I am the table. So let's move on. I'm not a huge fan of this Judgment Day stuff. Terra Twins, like, I just want it to end. I think I'm at a point now where I feel like if we continue this past Bad Blood, I'm gonna be a little pissed off. I'll be honest. I don't know. What say you, JC?
I don't want to spoil our predictions later in the show, but I think one might end and one might not.
Well, I think one has to end, if I'm being honest. That's just my thought.
Well, we'll discuss that later because I'm curious.
Okay.
Curious if we align.
All right. That's fine. I'm calling it like I see it. That's all I have to say about that, but it is what it is. Anywho, moving on. Let's see if anything else that's got me upset. Well, Sonya Deville and Lyra, as our girl Zoe beat Lyra. That's the whole thing.
You ready? You know what PFC stands for? Pure fucking crap.
How long did you think of that one for?
Literally just popped in my head, and I'm so proud of myself. Because last week, nothing popped in my head when I was trying to come up with something. This week, the minute you hadn't even said it yet, I'm like, it's probably time we talk about fucking pure fucking crap. And I was like, oh, I'm a genius.
You're something, all right.
Yeah, I was nice to Guthrie earlier, so now I got to shit on his other favorite.
Now you got to pull your pants down in the end zone like Randy
she
Moss.
Won.
Yeah. Whoop-de-doo, Basil. Whoop-de-doo, Basil.
Took 3 people to beat 1.
Well,
yeah. We're not talking about this. Move on.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
And I think what it was.
I don't think there's much more. Like I said, I don't care about the Judgment Day stuff. Let's get hopeful. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else.
You're my only hope. Would you like to go first?
Sure, I will, since I teased it. So here's what I'm thinking. Jey Uso is the Intercontinental Champion, right? Yes. This is what we call a double hope, right? Jey Uso is now the IC title holder, right? He is the champion. He's going to Uso all over the place. However, Braun Breaker comes out with a babyface promo, sort of, kind of. And then, later on, he does something else. My thought is, I'm going to stick to this plane of existence. Xavier Woods has a match next week for the IC title. Here's my hope. Give him the IC title right off the rip. Here's why. Jey Uso, arguably the most over person on the fucking planet right now. If you took that title away on the first rip, think about how much hate Xavier Woods, nuclear heat. And imagine that's the reason why they gave it to him as like, Jey Uso, you deserve it. We'll give you a t-shirt. We'll have your special entrance with your son and shit. Braun Breaker clearly has to go on and do Braun Breaker stuff. But if Xavier Woods wins next week, it would, imagine him being like, I got the championship. I finally reached something in my life, but now everybody hates me. Imagine that happening. It would be fucking astronomical. I would love to see the reaction afterwards. Imagine if he walked by the entire locker room and all of them just started shaking their heads at him. And now he's like the Miz when JBL kicked him out of the locker room. Nobody wants to fucking talk to him because he beat the most lovable person in Jey Uso. Imagine what that would do for the characters. It'd be fucking great. I want it. I want it now. That's my hope.
Ray's gonna fucking hate this.
I don't give a shit about Ray. I don't.
Jey Uso fan in the world. We really do come off as big Jey Uso haters. We really do.
No, but here's,
I love Jey Uso. I just think he's just kicking out of his weight class.
Here's my thing. Jey Uso is going to be in part of War Games. And if you just have the Intercontinental title just hanging there in November, give me a fucking break.
It might, but also an easy way to get him to buy in is have the Bloodline screw him out of the IC title, and then he has something to fight for.
Stop it, Bertsky. No yeet.
So maybe he's more of a Jimmy Uso guy than a Jey Uso guy.
No, he doesn't like it, is what he's probably saying, right, Bertsky? You don't like what I'm saying? You don't like it.
No one likes what you're saying.
And yet people tune in to bash me. I'm like, Howard Stern a little bit, where they just want to see what I say. They tune in for you. Yeah.
They tune in for me. I correctly predicting the opening of NXT. God, I'm a fucking genius.
By the way, there is so much gaga that's not even happened yet. Like, there's not even a second match. It's ridiculous. The amount of
I can't fucking wait to watch. It is. I have so much joy watching NXT every week. For those of you that don't watch it, you guys are fucking insane. I don't know how you can watch the other shows and choose not to watch the best one, because it really is the best one. I love it. But should we get to my hope?
Oh, very quickly. Bertsky, guess what? Just because you said you can't support it, I fucking hope it happens so you can fucking cry.
Please don't look at the camera like that again, you fucking weirdo. All right, time to the real hope. JC, this hope was kind of to set up something else, but it's also like something I want. Because my favorite part of the WWE Network was all the random, like, cool, like, featurey, like, documentary type things we've gotten. And as you know, last week, the Vince McMahon docuseries on Netflix came out. Nothing new, but I had a lot of fun watching it. I thought it was for the most part really well done. It was cool to see all the people talk about it. I thought Tony Atlas was the star with his outfit and everything.
He grabbed him a pecker.
That was my favorite part. Former tag team partner of the shirt thing. So my hope, I will put it before we get more into that, is that now that WWE is going to be paired with Netflix, there's an opportunity for a lot more of these type of things where you can use the whole Netflix experience along with WWE to do more extra stuff like this. Because even the simple things that we get on Peacock sometimes, like the Cody Rhodes thing was awesome, and like the 24s that they do. But I think with Netflix, you can really expand it and do more of these type documentaries where this wasn't supposed to be like a negative thing when they started. I mean, they started shooting this thing like 3 years ago. And it was supposed to be get this behind the scenes look into a man we don't understand. And obviously it changed, and McMahon never finished his interviews because of all the stuff that happened. But still, it worked for what it was. But it's just more of like, wrestling has a lot of cool personalities. And obviously you have like the dark side of the ring, which focuses on a lot of the negative stuffs. But I think there's a lot of like interesting or cool, not necessarily positive, but just like different types of people and things to explore. And you can have Netflix do it where it's more of a Netflix crew than a WWE crew. So maybe you get an opportunity, like if there are some things that maybe WWE doesn't like to admit, or some people that want to be more open the way they talk, like that fucking little bitch Bret Hart, that they can more comfortably without the company being over them. So that's pretty much my hope, is that I hope we get more stuff like this, especially with Netflix, because now you have Netflix and Peacock. You can pit them against each other. Be like, you better make cool shit. Well, you better make cool shit. So as a viewer, we get all the cool shit, baby. So hashtag JC knows. Hashtag JC hopes I'm true. Nestlemania, have you gotten through the entire docuseries yet?
You want me to tell you this? Shocker. Haven't watched a lick.
Wow, you really I was super excited for
I was super excited for it, and then someone blew their load and told me I wasn't going to learn anything new, and all the clips showed up on Twitter, and I just went, well, I don't care, because if I don't learn anything new, it's a waste of my time.
It's one of those things, like, there's nothing like big new, but it's like there's little things that are cool in different perspectives.
Yeah, but I can find those clips.
Yeah, but it's better.
Trust me, I am
as someone who creates things, Nestlemania. You think you would just want to support things like this?
Listen, I am a creator.
Not be a fucking clip whore and go on the TikTok.
Listen, I'm not on the TikTok or the U-Face or anything like that. You twit face.
Even Belichick is on
TikTok.
Instagram.
Yeah, oh, he's on Instagram.
Instaface.
Listen. I'll tell you this much: as the creator of the program that you are watching here, you're welcome, by the way, because JC was hesitant to join me back in the day, so it's fine. I had to basically put a gun to his head and tell him, hey, you're doing this. That's okay. He also tried to leave the show and try to be with Billy, so it's okay. It's all right. I remember that.
I know. I was trying to be recruited, but
I remember that. You're going to double dip, you bastard.
Well, that's how I got a raise out of you. It's called leverage.
Yeah. You bent me over table, you fuck. All right, anyway.
So we had to fire the intern. I took his salary.
There it is. So I have a legitimate question for you, and anybody in the chat, Bertsky, anybody that's in there that's listening, just because I'm curious, because like my brain was swimming with this, and I don't think anybody's going to have enough nuts to ask this guy a presser. But I feel like they may not have a bad blood presser based on because of how close the Vince documentary is, but they have to answer questions about this at some point.
Here's the thing, as we've seen before, just have Cody answer all the questions, because all the
Seriously.
negative questions last time, Triple H was fucking terrible, and Cody is fucking like a president. So, but yeah, look, I mean, there's questions, but it's like Triple H, like his voice is pretty prevalent in this thing, especially in the back half when he becomes more involved. It's like they're not going to answer anything new. I don't think there's anything new that people can ask. It's one of those things like it'll be just like what we've seen in the past. Sorry, someone's about to get choked out. I'm about to win.
That's okay, because the Rascals fight right now is getting a little crazy. Something I haven't seen in a long time. It was pretty cool. So my real question, the real question I wanted to ask
pressers to answer your question. Well, I think they will, yeah, because the reason why they're starting at 6 is because there's
UFC at 10.
And so they're using it as a lead-in because they're not supposed to be on the same day anymore. But I still think that they'll do a presser because I don't think they view that as a much competition.
My question, and this is just something that's been like boggling my mind, and I'm really curious what you think about this. And I know you said that the intention was one thing when they started, and then they had to change it to whatever was, happening with the accusations allegedly. So my thought was, why would Netflix buy into the long $5 billion deal with Raw and then have the documentary? Because if you watch the documentary, it's going to turn people off, and it feels like it's going to ruin partly of the investment to WWE.
No. This is great PR to lead into their wrestling, because all of my friends who casually watch or don't watch very much were more excited for this Vince documentary than everything. So it's one of those, like, it's more of like, it's them being like, look it, we're doing this stuff now. No, I think this is a win for Netflix. I think this is a win for WWE, because it doesn't make WWE look bad at like it, you know what I mean?
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Not anymore.
Come on.
The Vince stuff is old news at this point. And this, if you haven't watched it yet, so you wouldn't fucking know. But it's just like there's nothing in here that makes the WWE like the new age. Just like it's if anything, it's like we've fucking fixed all this shit and we're better. It just this is a good thing. This is more of a lead-in for Netflix that we can do these type of things, and people are fucking flooding to watch this stuff because they want to see it. And here's the thing. It's like they covered this in the documentary. It's like, you can blame WWE all you want, but Nestlemania, some of this stuff came out. Vince McMahon got in front of a live crowd and still got one of the biggest pops you'll ever hear. So wrestling fans, a lot of wrestling fans are a lot of sick fucks, and they don't give a shit. They love their show. Vince is part of their show, created their show, big part of why their show exists. I mean, these motherfuckers, they got Trump in the Hall of Fame here. People, I mean, look, we finally fucking got rid of that bum Hogan, but it's like Vince is just, it's one of those things different. If you went in a live crowd tomorrow, yes, the reception would probably be a little different, but I'm just saying, the majority of your audience are sick fucks. And then even like casual people, like people are interested in this shit. So this doesn't hurt them at all, man.
Okay.
If it did, it would have never aired. Never aired. But there's a reason why Vince wanted to buy it, because he doesn't come out obviously smelling like a rose, but.
Now, somebody said to me that they did a fantastic job of building up Vince as like a sympathetic figure, just enough to like watch him fall.
Well, because everything was setting up how fucking incredible this guy is, like the whole thing. But then this broke in the middle of a couple years after they had filmed. Like, you'll see, I think that like the Hulk Hogan interview was done in like 2002. Or 2022, the Undertaker one was like also all these, even all the other interviews were done before this. So it's like it's a very unique type thing.
Okay,
it's worth watching. I definitely think it's worth watching. Like, there's nothing like breaking super new, but it's like it's still it's a very fun watch. It's interesting perspective, and Tony Atlas alone, like he's fucking everywhere, especially early on. It's great. He's fucking phenomenal.
Tony Atlas is a gem, just a gem.
Stud.
Man likes having women in high heel step on his feet. Oh, sorry, his face. Oh, that's what it was. He actually likes that. Did you know that?
Hey,
I know you're not feet. I know you're not a feet guy, but Jesus,
no
high heels in the face. That's enough. Anyway, anything else, or should we get to the comeback?
Don't call it a comeback. Dun, 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 dun. Kane and Katana are back, baby. They saved Lyra after the pure fucking crap beatdown. And we were talking about this for the show, but the backstage interview was hilarious because the three of them are tiny. Jackie Redmond is tiny. So when fucking the other ones come over, they look fucking gigantic. But Katana has a mask because obviously he had an injury, but look it. They're fun. Their entrance is fun. Their moveset is fun. I love their fucking finish that they do. It's just everything about them is fun. I'm glad they're back. They're a real tag team. They even had the segment, as I mentioned, with Isla and Alba, who look gigantic, which is hilarious because then it's funny. We can do like a growing thing with it. We can start
Jade
with
and
Kate and
Bianca,
Katana.
holy
Yeah,
shit.
then we go to Isla and Alba, and then we go Jade and Bianca. So, but yeah, I'm glad they're back. They're fun, and I'm glad that Katana's okay and healed. But with the match, she kind of had a little cycle thing going on there too. She was a little fired up. So they get
she's probably mad that Ricochet's on a different show now. It's all right.
Nah, they broke up like 5 years ago.
I'm just making a joke.
She's
Come
got
on.
a husband now.
Does she really?
I don't know.
Look it up.
Yeah, she's with someone probably.
Google it. No.
And I love their song.
I just love the hip thing. Like when just if Doc was here, he'd be like,
you know who Caden's dating? Do you know
No.
who Caden's?
Is it Damian Priest? Okay.
I
thought Damian Priest. I thought Damian Priest was with Lana. They said, but okay.
He might have been. That might have been why him and who knows? That's the deeper internet. Damian Priest is a good-looking guy in Nestlemania. So
he's a bisexual Undertaker, baby.
A lot of women in that backstage area.
Well, I mean, you got when you have beautiful hair, women just come to you. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Anyway, my comeback is when I laid my eyes on backstage segment with Gunther, Kathy Kelly, and of course Ludwig talking, and then all of a sudden, Braun Breaker. And I was like, well, I forgot Braun Breaker beat Gunther. I forgot that. They're all concerned with Sami Zayn. I don't care about this fucking shit. But I care about Braun Breaker versus Gunther. And all they had to say was, I just wanted to take a good look. You'll be seeing me sooner than you think. And I was just like, oh boy. Oh boy. I was so excited. JC, you have no idea, because all I kept thinking about was, that's the guy. That's the guy that's going to beat him. That is why Braun Breaker dropped the title to Jey Uso, so Jey Uso can drop it to Xavier Woods, so then a babyface Braun Breaker can then beat Gunther. That's what they're going to do. They're express mailing it. I'll tell you right now, here's what's going to happen. It's going to happen the 1st of January on Netflix. That's what's going to happen.
I don't know about that.
They're going to crown him the big fucking deal.
I don't know about that one.
It's going to happen.
But I am excited that these two will have a match. But I do think Gunther will win part 1. But I'm not saying it'll be the end though, because who knows what happens later. Gunther could be holding that thing for a while. He's inexplicably the guy. Undoubtedly. Without a shadow of a doubt. But yeah. It's funny because when you were talking about that, you said I couldn't take my eyes off of. And you were staring at Gunther and Braun, and I'm like, but Kathy and Ludwig were standing right there. So you know what JC was staring at? 2 of my favorite people.
On that note, I think it's the big old finish time, friend.
Big old finish on SmackDown. We mentioned it earlier. There is a dumpster match between Michin and Chelsea Green. We have a ladder match for the tag titles. We have Naomi taking on Tiffany Stratton, and we have the return of AJ Styles. In Nestlemania, I don't want none.
No, because here's the thing. Here's my thing. AJ Styles was on a hiatus for like what, a month or 2?
Yeah, why don't you
send him to TNA? Why not send him to TNA?
He's a part-timer. When he's not working, he's not working.
Give me a fucking break. Do you know how important that would be to TNA's legacy? Do you know how important that would be to their show? Do you know how important it would be to have AJ Styles back there?
You think AJ Styles gives a shit?
I know he doesn't give a shit. Make him give a shit. That's all I'm saying. Pay him. That's all you
They are paying him. He's one of the highest paid guys.
All I'm saying is, if you're not going to put AJ Styles in TNA by the time he's done, that's the biggest miss in this entire relationship that they've had right here.
It is. Relationship with NXT. AJ Styles ain't NXT, bro.
Doesn't matter.
Ruka the other day. That was a big win for them.
Doesn't matter. CM Punk is coming down to NXT tonight. Yeah, okay.
But he ain't going to fucking TNA.
No, I'm just saying you can find a reason to find.
Did Dom just take over your body?
Did Dom take over my body?
The top stars? Come on.
I'm just saying AJ Styles is no. AJ Styles is a specific reason though.
Yeah, but who gives a shit?
I think here's the thing. Up until now, it's been like tit for tat, and I don't think it's been that good for TNA.
Oh, it's been great for TNA.
I think
their
TNA
stars are all over NXT. More people have seen Joe Hendry now than ever before.
Ay, ay, ay. Sorry. You know me and cringy stuff. Just at this particular moment, let's put a oh God, sorry. Let's put a prayer out for Zachary Wentz. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Oh, did they do something stupid?
Let's just say
I mean, West did
miscalculation.
say that Gigi was gonna have to feed him with like a straw or something.
It was an unfortunate miscalculation. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
Oh God, sorry. We should just have a react to this entire show. Anyway, that's pretty much it on that. So let's move on. What else we got for SmackDown or Raw?
We head over to Monday Night Raw and we have 3 big matches. We have a good old Donnybrook match between Sheamus and Butch. We have the IC title match between Jey Uso and Xavier Woods. And we have the World Heavyweight Championship match between Gunther and Sami Zayn.
You're putting this on Raw, the main event, means that I know Sammy's not winning anyway. And then this is happening. I'm just thinking,
well, they're also doing it because it's their first 2-hour show. So I think they want to make sure that they really pop a rating. Because here's the thing, Nestlemania. Here's I can tell you a little thing how ratings work. The shorter your show, the bigger rating you get because your numbers aren't as stretched out. So them from going 3 hours to 2 hours, their ratings are going to be bigger just because of that simple reason. They won't have I'm assuming it's 8 to 10, right? They won't have that 10 to 11 where you lose a lot of people. So yeah, they're gonna try to pop one big time with this one.
Can't wait for Jey Uso to lose in the start of the show. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fucking.
I bet you they kick off with the Donnybrook match because that's gonna have a lot of setup.
Dom says
they're gonna come into Raw. There's gonna be shit all around the ring.
Dom says, wasn't he there already? I don't think he was. I would remember that. AJ Styles, Dom, get the fuck out of here. I would remember that.
That'd be fucking funny. Dom, you're the one who watches TNA, not us.
Yeah, seriously. Come on, Dom, giving me the fucking business of the business. Come on, Dom. Stop betting on baseball. Start watching TNA. Come on, bud. Come on. You fucking fuck. Come on. All right. Anything else? We're going to put our blindfold on?
Maybe now we got bad blood. Oh, we got to talk about AEW too.
Let's do AEW last because
okay. Good, because I have bad blood with them. Get it? I will refresh the page to make sure nothing has changed. Not that it would. We have 5 matches in Nestlemania for Bad Blood on Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. For those of you who don't know, make sure you tune in because it is on earlier, so it does not compete with UFC. We have a singles match in Nestlemania for the Women's World Championship. Dominic Mysterio will be suspended above the ring in a shark cage. Liv Morgan defends against Rhea Ripley. Who you got?
Liv Morgan is winning this match somehow, some way with the chicanery of something from the Judgment Day or the shark cage or something. The one thing here is the shark cage is going to be on the stage or is it going to be hanging? Because I assumed it was going to be hanging.
They said hanging, but who knows? They fucking change their mind all the time. So it'll probably depend on if the arena can support it.
Well, I'm just saying it's weird to me that there's going to be a Hell in a Cell and a shark cage hanging. It just seems weird to me. Like there might be one of them.
I'm almost thinking why they did it on like the stage. So I don't know. We'll see.
It's also something that would make me think like they could do like that. Like I think one time in NXT they did it in like a forklift kind of thing. Like they had like a boom holding out the thing.
They could do something like that.
Yeah. So I'll be curious. I'll be very curious. Oh, by the way, up next, Miz TV with your boy Oba.
That's going to be must see meaty TV. But especially now that Miz is a heel, that'll be interesting. But Nestlemania, I am also taking Liv Morgan because I don't think this one's over, baby. They're gonna make Rhea earn it, and there are so many members of Judgment Day to help Liv cheat, but there's gonna be something. Dom's gonna be pulling shit out of his pants and dropping it down to Liv. Like this. I think this is gonna be a fun gaga match. But give me Liv Morgan.
Okay, that's fine. And next also, hold on. Playoff season. This is straight fandom Nestle. Listen, nobody cares about the MLB. Nobody cares about the MLB at all. Stop it.
People love playoff baseball in Nestlemania. That is a real thing.
Not me.
I got WNBA playoffs on tonight, so I care more about that. Singles match, the other part of the Judgment Day fiesta, Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. This one's interesting, Nestlemania, because I feel like Damian Priest is going to get a shot at Gunther again, so maybe it is after this with a win off of Finn Balor, but I just like there's so much Judgment Day schmoz. This is their first match, but I'm like maybe they take a break after this, but I feel like Judgment Day I'm going to pick Finn Balor, but I'm not confident.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's confident. A bold pick. My thought is I'm going to pick Priest here because I feel like the way that they book Priest is very, very, very strong. And I think that when you think about Priest, I feel like they have bigger plans for him. And I think there's more of an opportunity here to have Priest win and then just have them screw him out of his other opportunities after he thinks he's done with them versus continuing this feud because I think he doesn't care about really getting his hand. He already kind of got his hands on Dom, and the other two stooges don't really matter. It's Finn that he wants. So I feel like I just don't see Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley winning, but I feel like Priest needs this more than anybody else. I don't know.
It's weird because I think this new Judgment Day needs some definitive wins to make them look stronger. But it's also one of those things, like, I agree. I don't, Finn and Priest, they need a little breather after this. Like, Priest needs a breather from the Judgment Day, but I mean, he's been working hard for a while. Maybe he gets some time off so he can make a return later and finish this off. But I don't know if Priest wins. It feels over, at least for now. But I don't know. It's there's no gimmick on this match or anything, so it feels like it's just going to be typical Judgment Day cheating bullshit, and Finn's pick up the win.
Okay.
Next up, we have a singles match for the WWE Women's Championship. Nia Jax defends against Bayley. Who you got?
We're not wasting any more time on anything related to these women's titles because no one's going to fucking lose. Nia's not losing until she gets cashed in on. That's it. So
does she get cashed in on Saturday?
No, she's not, because if they did, I will be very angry. Shame on them if they do that. Shame on you.
You just nestle cursing happening. But yeah, give me Nia Jax as well. Next up, we have a tag team match player. Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns take on the bloodline of Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu with the tag team champions Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. That's a fucking tongue twister by their side. Nestlemania, I still have no fucking idea who eats a pin in this match. I have no fucking idea how they book this match. That's why they got to have some sort of schmozzy set up. It'd be easy for Cody and Roman just to win because they're like the mega powers.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it feels like the bloodline, like Solo and Jacob, like Solo needs to look dominant over both these men. So somehow, some way, I don't fucking know how, because I don't think Roman's getting pinned. So it has to be Cody.
It's going to be Cody. It's going to be Cody.
Give me the fucking bloodline.
New bloodline. Okay. I'm also picking the new bloodline because here's my thought. You ready for this?
Yes.
Cody is going to lose because KO is going to get involved.
That could work.
And fuck him over. And that's going to be it. That's exactly what I think is going to happen, because the only thing I kept thinking about was Roman Reigns is, they're all focused on keeping Roman's word, right? They're all focused on the bloodline. Cody Rhodes can be the one that slips on a banana peel here. Then the more you thought about it, I'm like, Jacob Fatu needs this win. Solo definitely. Roman ain't losing. So Cody can slip on a banana peel here, I think. And that's, and then here's the thing. Then you go back to the KO thing.
Well, I think it's one of those things that's easy too, because since, as I mentioned, the Tongas are out there, that's how KO and Randy come out. You get the big schmaz, and then something happens, and KO just fucking stuns Cody, beats the piss out of him. Maybe Orton's already been taken out, so he's not really a factor here, but there's definitely a possibility. But either way, it's going to be interesting. Nestlemania, with the final match, is the Hell in a Cell match, the possible, maybe, potentially main event between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, DM Hunk. Who you got, Nestlemania?
If it's a feud ender, the way they're booking it, you always go with the babyface at the end. So that just seems like a logical choice. I think we're going to be completely underwhelmed by this matchup. It's not going to deliver in any way that I think is going to happen. I'm going to put you down for CM Punk as well, because I'm just going to save you some time.
Yeah, I spoiled this feud for myself like forever ago. Yeah, it's CM Punk, because I think we got the tease of CM Punk with there. I think that's where they're going next, probably for Survivor Series. So yeah, give me CM Punk to finish this off. But yeah, are these guys done forever? Probably not, because they're like the Chicken and Peter Griffin, but they're done for now, and I think CM Punk needs it more, so give me CM Punk.
Will you be satisfied, you think, by the end of this matchup?
I think I'll enjoy it, because Hell in the Cells are just violent, so unless if CM Punk gets hurt early in this match, I don't see how I don't enjoy it. And there's a very strong possibility he gets injured, so the man is old and brittle.
All I will say is, look, I think that the first match was good, but it was kind of like a first match, thing. The second match was, it was a touch in four corners, which I did like, and the storytelling.
I thought it was a really good match for what it was.
Right. But the first match to me was kind of like,
they had the fucking dumbass referee shit and everything.
Yep. So it is what it is. All right. Well, there we are. Bad Blood. Hopefully everybody enjoys it. Oh, but Femi, what a fucking entrance. Just the way he like does the dance kind of thing. I'm just, and he's wearing a suit, so which is even weirder to me. Or he's wearing at least some dress pants.
Good to be his tailor.
Yeah, there it is. Oh, you're gonna love the fucking strut tonight with the fucking suit. It is just, There's just that shirt is like rock level right there. Holy shit. All right. Anyway, so we're gonna go over to AEW. Josh, JC, you can do whatever you want now, but here we are. Tomorrow night on AEW television, it is going to be an insane night of action at the Peterson Event Center in Pittsburgh, as this is what Tony Khan had written. 5 years.
Britt Baker's returning then.
Yep,
DMD.
We'll start there. DMD taking on Serena Deep.
Oh, she's booked.
She's booked. Serena Deep.
So if she has a bad match, back-to-back bad matches with Mercedes and Serena Deep, that'd be a tough look. Britt's at home, though. Give me Britt.
Well, it's got to be Britt, right?
I'll watch that. I'll watch it for the pop and the DMD and
a match that I didn't know, but this is actually kind of exciting to me. And I just because I just love both of these guys, and I think I'll tune in just for this matchup. Hangman Adam Page taking on Juice Robinson. Like, just,
you know what? I saw this graphic and Juice was making a ridiculous face. So
yeah.
I mean, they're both great wrestlers.
I'm so.
It's not Jeff Jarrett, so I'm happy about it.
It's so great. Okay, another one that seemingly be the reason to tune in tomorrow night. Ricochet versus Ospreay for the International Championship. This is not the main event, by the way. It should go on first so they have enough time. Get everybody going here. My thought is, and this is interesting to me. People are saying, there's a lot of chatter on the interweb saying that Ricochet needs to prove himself in this matchup. And I was just like, are you insane? It is for the title. But my thought was, are you insane? He ain't winning. No, he ain't winning. Yeah. But I was just like, are you insane? Like,
actually, maybe if Kyle Fletcher gets involved, maybe Ricochet does win, and then you can get Ospreay away from that title.
There's something about Ospreay though that I feel like it's almost like Ricochet is the forgotten favorite. Like he returned back to his roots, and everybody's just kind of like, yeah, but we got Ospreay. And it's just like these guys are gonna do something fucking gymnastical tomorrow night.
Yeah, we've seen it before. They are going to do a lot of shit.
I mean, I'm going to be sitting here thinking that I'm watching the Olympics. That's what I'm thinking. Fucking 10 out of 10. Did he stick the landing? You know what I mean? Like that's what it is, you know?
So I'm excited for it. I'll watch this. So far, we're in a good start. I think we're in a good start. 3 things I'll watch, And
then, of course, the head scratcher of the night just out of fucking nowhere. This is the part that MJF had fun with on Twitter here, as the AEW title is on the top versus the the Continental title, where here's the kicker. The Continental title is only at stake for the first 20 minutes. That's right. The first 20 minutes.
I sent this to our chat and I was like, this might be the most ridiculous stipulation I've ever read. Like you're doing a title versus title match, but you're pretty much telling me like, well, we're going to go over 20 minutes just so when Brian wins, he doesn't get the title. It's just like, then don't put it on the line. Just make it for one of the titles. This is the problem with fucking Tony is he just can't get out of his own way. And you know what? It might not even be him because this is a Bryan Danielson match. He books all his own shit. This is probably his fucking stupid idea. This is why you don't let the inmates run the asylum because they do stupid fucking shit because they can't. It's one of those things like, Daniel Bryan has an amazing mind for wrestling, but when it's about yourself, you kind of you can't see the whole thing because you can only see forward. You can't see the whole view because your eyes in the front of your head, and you make stupid fucking decisions like this. This is fucking moronic. I'm sure it'll be a fantastic match, the dream match. People are gonna fucking wank themselves off to this, but I'll probably get a protest. Just fast forward it 20 minutes. Until the stipulation's over, and then I can be like, okay, now the match starts. That's pretty much what they're telling me.
No. My thought is, why is this not on a pay-per-view?
Well, they're trying to treat this like a pay-per-view. Hence why they have Ospreay and Ricochet in this.
I understand, but here's the thing: will they make? I guarantee you, they will not break 1 million, even if he's got this stuff. And that's the way
they'll be going up against Dom's favorite sport, playoff baseball, so he might not even be watching.
He's not watching AEW ever. He's too busy betting on baseball.
He watches fucking Rampage, but he doesn't watch the other shit. It boggles my mind. You know what I do with Rampage? I log it on my DVR and I'm like, oh God, I have to delete it this week. It's like a chore for me to delete that in Collision.
Yeah. So there's 4 matches right there. If you're gonna watch, have a good time. If you're not gonna watch,
bad. I mean, look at it's 4 really good matches. Well, 3 good matches and One homecoming.
Yeah, well, she's something else. It is what it is. All right, anything else? You want to get the fuck out of here?
Get the fuck out of my face.
All right. Thank you for listening and watching the Jobber Knocker podcast. We'll be back next week with some more Jobber Knockery.